Good day, everybody. I'm coming to you from Yorkshire on this evening, the 19th of November, 2025, a Wednesday. Let's talk about some news. So I woke up this morning to find this from the Daily Telegraph in my email inbox. Britain not ready to defend invasion. And there's been many of us that have been saying this for God knows how long, and all we've heard is the dogs of war talking about how we're going to send our troops to Ukraine, or we're going to do this, or we're going to do that. And the EU says all the same thing, and it's all this Sun Tzu type of stuff. When you're weak, act strong. When you're strong, act weak. It's all this type of stuff. It's like, but this has now come out from Tom Cottrell, the defence editor. It's a chilling thought. Britain's military would struggle to fend off an invasion. Well, we don't use our military that much, and we have allowed an invasion already. And we're now going to have to deal with it. Despite Labour's repeated warnings about the nation facing, quote, a new era of threat, the Defence Committee has warned the UK lacks a plan to protect itself. It doesn't just lack a plan, it lacks all the people, it lacks all of the items that you need, it lacks absolutely everything. We are completely open to invasion. Anybody could do it. A bunch of children from Spain could do it. In a sobering 73-page report, cross-party politicians spell out the gargantuan task faced by the armed forces. They say that budgetary woes and a shrinking military mean the UK is slipping behind on its defence commitments to NATO. Well, a lot of this may come from the long-term nature of this country, which is, oh, it's all right, chaps, we're rich, we're rich, we can do what we like, and we're perfectly okay. And all those oiks that come from the council estates, they can all go in the army, and the occasional upper middle class and upper class will be in the sergeant and above ranks, telling all these oiks what they've got to do. We'll be fine, chaps. So the UK's military has shrunk. The full-time and reserve personnel strength of the various parts of the British military has gone down from 220k to 180k. And most of them are probably not the type of people that you want to attempt to save you from the hordes that are going to come in. And half of them probably want those hordes to come in to get rid of the white, supremacist, far-right, racist, fascist assholes that incubate this planet, this country. The statement from the Daily T goes on. The problems facing the armed forces have been brought into focus by Russia's invasion of Ukraine, which is approaching its 4th year. Could you imagine Russia invading Britain? I don't think we would have lasted as long as Ukraine. And we certainly don't have the people that are willing to stand up. I think there's quite a lot of people that will go, you want us to support you, you bunch of Tory or Labour tossers, over and above Putin and Lavrov? Fuck yourselves. I'd be quite happy living under Russian rule. I look at what they do and how strong they are and how they like to have a really good, strong direction. I go, fuck it. I might not understand the culture now, but my children's children will eventually understand that culture and they'll be perfectly all right. It's not a bad culture. It's not like Nazism or anything. It's protective. It is strong. It's independent. It's fuck you lot. We're going to maintain our values, which is something that the British have decided to throw away. So understandably, we've not got a fucking military. and we don't have anything in there that can actually help save us. Buried in the report is a quote from Professor Peter Roberts, a leading military expert and fellow at the RUSI, who are a bunch of assholes, whose stark view on the state of affairs cannot be ignored. Why is the RUSI a bunch of assholes? Because it's the RUSI that has come out with all of these things about how rubbish Russia is, how it is running out of all of its people, how hundreds of thousands of them are dead, how they've got no rockets, they've got no bullets, they've got nothing, and they're just going to fall apart because we throw money at corrupt Ukraine, who steal all the money and run away, while throwing their working class people in front of a very professional bunch of Russian military. I feel really sorry for them, because they've been absolutely, completely, thoroughly and utterly shafted, not only by Zelensky and his regime, but by the EU, the UK and the USA in general. What a bunch of assholes we are to these people. Saying that the government has to come clean with the public about the nation's seemingly inadequate integrated air and missile defences, he adds, so this is Professor Peter Roberts, quote, "There has been no political will to make the difficult decisions or to be honest with the public and say, we're not going to stop missiles coming and hitting you. A set of you are going to die. Hospitals are going to go under, and you will be without food, water, sewers and electricity." And the end of this little thing finishes with, what a bleak, bleak beginning to your Wednesday. Well, I mean, if people had actually listened to the other people that were telling you this over the past 5 years, 10 years, 20 years, then we wouldn't be in this position. But no, we wanted to go down different routes. We wanted to throw money at different things. We didn't want to develop our infrastructure. We just wanted to have short-term government politicians just interested in their own jobs and wanting to make it look like everything's all right and just throw money at people and produce mummy and daddy state government instead of telling people it's their responsibility. Anyway, let's have a bit more of a look. So I looked it up on Bing to see, well, who else is saying anything? And they're all saying the same thing. The Daily Express, wake-up call. Britain's not ready to defend itself. The Sun, the UK's not ready to defend itself. Sky News, Britain warned it's not ready to defend itself from invasion. LBC, if Britain's defence isn't ready, why is Labour still moving so slowly? Down below, the BBC, the UK lacks a plan to defend itself, blah, blah, blah. But here's the interesting one. From the Express. Putin's attack dogs turn guns on the HMS Prince of Wales, claiming Britain not ready. It's like, they have to say it's Russia all the time, and they have to deflect. It's all about deflection. Let's have a look at this. Putin's attack dogs turn the guns on HMS Prince of Wales, claiming Britain's not ready for World War III. This is a story by Charles Wade Palmer and William Stewart. There's a nice picture of a grey boat called the HMS Prince of Wales as it arrives in Tokyo. Vladimir Putin's attack dogs. What they mean there is their media, who independently just taking the piss, rightly so, have trained their guns on the HMS Prince of Wales, the UK's flagship aircraft carrier. Wasn't this the one where it was meant to leave Portsmouth or somewhere and go off somewhere with some NATO thing, but it couldn't get out of the harbour because it started sinking, because there was something wrong with it? When it says the UK's flagship aircraft carrier, I believe it's our only flagship, our only aircraft carrier. So, Defence Secretary John Healey said this week the vessel was now at, quote, full capability as it was placed under NATO command. What the hell does full capability mean, and why should we listen to these people? Why should we listen to these people? They've lied to us through their teeth the whole time. All the time. They have lied completely at us about our country, our country's abilities, our infrastructure, protecting our country, protecting it from foreign invasion, whether that is a peaceful invasion by migrants coming in their millions, or whether it is a non-peaceful invasion by illegal migrants coming over here to rape and pillage, or whether it's actually a full invasion by anybody else, which we haven't seen, but we wouldn't be able to do anything about it, because a single aircraft carrier would not be able to do bloody anything. The Navy flew 36 F-35 sorties in one day off the carrier, anchored off Naples. Anchored. It was anchored. It was being kept still. So they flew 36 F-35 sorties off a non-moving boat. Is that because the people in the RAF don't know how to land on a boat that's actually moving around in choppy waters? He said this was the highest rate since the Falklands War in 1982. But in a concerted blast from the Kremlin's propaganda machine. Oh, it's the media that's saying this. Okay. 3 of Putin's hitmen launched state media onslaughts against HMS Prince of Wales and the British Armed Forces, claiming they will be redundant in a coming thermonuclear world war. I think we'd all be pretty much redundant in a thermonuclear war, wouldn't we? I think so. Oh, there goes the world. Bye. Another. Dr. Yuri Baranchik, a geopolitics and security expert, called for Putin to use hypersonic missiles to sink the flagship. It's not like we've been calling for fucking anyone and everyone to smash the shit out of Russia, is it? You know, it's like, this is just hyperbole. This is just rhetoric from, this is them taking the fucking piss. You know, and the question is, do we deserve it? Do we deserve it? Do we deserve it? Yeah, we deserve it. Because we've been assholes. We've been thinking we can tell people this, we can force that, we can act really strong and tough when we've got fucking nothing. We call Russia, what is it we call Russia? A gas station masquerading as a country. Well, they've shoved that in your fucking car petrol tank, haven't they? They're doing rather well in comparison to us. Although I do note that our inflation has gone down by 0.1% or whatever it was. They did announce that today. For the first time in however long, the inflation has allegedly gone down. Assassin Andrei Lugovoy, wanted in Britain to face trial for the radioactive poisoning in London of Putin? For Alexander... What kind of bullshit is... What's this twat's name who wrote this? This posh cunt? Charles Wade Palmer! Charles Wade Palmer! I wish you'd read the fucking thing before you put it out. Wanted in Britain to face trial for the radioactive poisoning in London of Putin. For Alexander Litvinenko. Into that... You're a dickhead. You're a fucking dickhead, whoever wrote this. This guy, this assassin, branded the... Where's your evidence? Branded the warship a leaky tub and rickety, claiming the Royal Navy was scared to put it in harm's way. The hardline MP and propagandist said, Healy talks about how we are Britain, ruler of the seas. But they're not ruler of the seas. 6 months ago, this aircraft carrier became famous for the fact it was supposed to come to the shores of China, demonstrating British aircraft carrier capabilities. It was supposed to leave in March this year. It didn't. Why? Because the Houthis, as it happened, broke the truce, and everyone who was supposed to move past the Red Sea was bombed there. So the aircraft carrier never left. Russian TV propagandist Vladimir however you pronounce it, said So it's a timid aircraft carrier. There are Houthis! 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 I'm not going! No, 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 the Houthis! The Houthis! Louvagoi replied, excuse me, Louvagoi replied, it's timid. Do you know what else they call it? Rickety. They say that the shame of Britain and the Prince of Wales are synonymous. Political scientist Yakov Kedmi said the aircraft carrier cannot operate on its own. It needs an aircraft carrier group. Without an aircraft carrier group of destroyers, cruisers and submarines, it is a target. It is impossible without this. I thought that was how aircraft carriers work, though. They worked inside an aircraft carrier group, which is why it's called an aircraft carrier group. You can see that they're just taking the piss because they don't know what they're talking about. And then you can see that this fucking cunt of a upper-class double-barreled named twat doesn't know what he's talking about anyway because he's quoting it. So I say, yet Britain lacked the resources. This is the problem with the British fleet. They do not have the ships to create an aircraft carrier group together with this Prince of Wales aircraft carrier. So now they're scrounging all over Europe trying to assemble an aircraft carrier group to make it formal. I understand now. He knew better than I did. He was taking the piss that Britain doesn't have an aircraft carrier group. It just has an aircraft carrier, and therefore it needs a bunch of other people to make an aircraft carrier group to be part of. I don't know how effective it will be or how they will operate with Portuguese destroyers, Italian submarines nearby. Oh, we're really good at foreign languages. I can tell you. We're the best. We are the best at foreign languages. Nobody has ever said anything about the British not being able to speak foreign languages, have they? He said of the British, they can puff themselves up as much as they like. I haven't read this before. This is fucking hilarious. They can puff themselves up as much as they like. They can blow themselves up. They can threaten anyone they like. But they don't have an army. This year their army will reach a record low of less than 70,000 people. Of which, if the American guy was in charge, 2/3 of these people would not meet the standards and they'd be kicked out. And we'd only have 20,000 people. They cannot assemble a single tank division. I don't think we actually produce any tanks, do we? Do we produce any? We sure wouldn't do if Nigel Farage hadn't gone up to, where is it, Sheffield or wherever it was, and save the steel industry. They can't assemble a single tank division. They can't assemble an aircraft carrier group. This is Great Britain, he mocked. What are they saying in Europe? We need 800,000 Ukrainian soldiers against Russia. The goal is to fight against Russia. Now they're making plans to move their army from the west to the Russian border in 5 or 4 days. And there's a list of how many tanks there will be and what tunnels there will be. Don't they understand at all that the future war will not be fought in this way? Do they think that the Russian... I can't be bothered to read any more of this, but I find it shocking that the Daily Express decided to actually write this shit and complain about Russians taking the piss out of us when the Russians are actually showing that they can actually fight. They're really fucking good at it. They've built a military economy, which, if they wished to use it, would annihilate every single capital city of Europe in one night, using the Oreshnik and whatever other bloody things that they're producing. Kinzhaus as well. Britain's too weak to offer a strong response. And I think that is actually the issue. And this is where we need somebody like Nigel Farage to come in, blow away all of the old order. They have to go. We have to have people back here in charge of our country who are going to make us proud of our country, build up our skills and our expertise, put the right people into the military who will actually defend us, make sure that if push came to shove, we would actually have the people capable within the rest of the economy of joining the military to actually do it. We need to have all of the equipment. We need to have, we probably need to put people through national service all over again. We've got to give people some sort of bloody backbone because we don't have one. And this is what this is saying. So if you think that this taking the piss is, oh, how dare they? Well, actually, it should be a wake-up call to you because we need it. Let's move on. What else have we got? Got some guy here, Harvey Procter. Keir Starmer must make one change right now. UK men are dying needlessly. Not him. Yet. In the not-so-distant past, I unexpectedly ran into my dear friend Matthew Parris. This is a guy called Harvey Procter. I don't know who Harvey Procter is. I've never heard of him. But he clearly writes for whoever it is he writes for. That moment brought back the memory of a night that changed and saved my life. 20th of May 1987, the night before I was due to plead guilty at Bow Street Magistrates Court under an unjust law that criminalised men simply for being homosexual, I was at the lowest point of despair. Facing the obliteration of a parliamentary career I cherished, I decided I could not face another day. So I'm assuming he's an MP, maybe? Maybe. I prepared to take my own life with a bottle of sleeping pills. Then the phone rang. Matthew was on it, insisting I join a small supper he was hosting. His kindness, the warmth of the friends gathered around a kitchen table, pulled me back from the brink. I survived the hearing the next day, receiving the very fine predicted over supper, £1,450. More importantly, I survived to live the life I still value today. So he talks about the Alan Turing law, how that has now been expunged, thankfully. People prosecuted simply because of their sexuality. How the media weaponized their newspapers to destroy this guy for political revenge. But he talks about suicide remaining the leading cause of death for men under 50, men being disproportionately represented in addiction, homelessness and imprisonment. And this aligns with National Men's Day, which is coming up. Where, of course, there will be all these men that talk about how men must help women. When there is other stuff that goes on all year round for that. So let's focus on bloody men for once, right? Men take their own lives more frequently, are far less likely to seek help, and are still more likely to be falsely accused of sexual crimes, as demonstrated by the appalling case of Eleanor Williams. I don't know about the appalling case of Eleanor Williams, but that doesn't sound like a male name. Unless Eleanor Williams, I don't know. I'm not going to start making assumptions about how that links into men, unless it's something to do with this person was falsely accusing men of sexual crimes. I don't know. Prostate cancer is the most common cancer affecting men in the UK. I did hear that Movember, the big prostate cancer group, has been taken over by women. Not only has it been taken over by women, all of the money that all these men put in that they think is going to prostate cancer and men's healthcare and to all the things that cover men, the answer to that is no. A lot of the money has now been siphoned off and is aimed towards women because it's been taken over by women. The whole team there is led by women who promote women's health stuff and women's issues, whereas Movember was started as a male issue, probably one of the few and only fucking male issues. And of course, it had to be taken over and redirected in exactly the same way men's sheds were. They had to be taken over. And we know all it takes is to have one woman inside a group of men, and it changes what men do. It changes how men interact with each other. It causes a twist in our brains, and we act differently. And we've had the same examples from schools. Primary schools where it's all boys in a class, suddenly you bring in one girl and the boys completely change. They totally change. They're all about trying to impress the girl, trying to be rough and tumble with each other, and trying to be, I'm the tough one, so you should be with me type of thing. And these are just very young kids. And suddenly they're acting up because there's a woman there. And we really need to think about doing things differently in this country in some ways. So it says, carrying on here, prostate cancer is the most common cancer affecting men, and most violence is inflicted by men against other men. It goes on. For generations, men have been conditioned to remain stoic, silent, and strong, but silence is killing them. This is when I start disagreeing with him in here. That's why the government's announcement of the first ever men's health strategy is a landmark moment and a welcome acknowledgement that men and boys face specific and urgent challenges. I agree with that. The plan aims to tackle the physical and mental health pressures affecting men every day by working with football clubs and NHS trusts to expand suicide prevention training and support, promoting NHS talking therapies, investing millions in targeted suicide prevention, expanding mental health support in schools for hundreds of thousands of more pupils, blah, blah, blah. Now, my experience is men don't react to this sort of stuff. Men don't go to counsellors. Men don't seek out mental health support. They need a different way. And this isn't the way. This is the promotion of the types of things that work for women. The question is, what works for men? Men don't sit there facing somebody and start talking about shit. They sit side by side doing stuff, twiddling about with stuff, and then they start talking as they feel that they can speak openly with somebody that they trust, usually another man, without other people hearing. It's a different way. And a lot of men are silent. They remain silent. They are stoic. They will deal with things themselves. There's something about identity here. Men produce an identity for themselves on the basis of what they do, what they achieve, what their purpose is. And if somebody takes away what they do, what they achieve, what their purpose is, or they make them look like they're no bloody good at it and they've been thinking for 50 years, this is my expertise. But if something goes wrong and that identity is blown out of the water, or, heaven forbid, they falsely get accused of doing something in exactly the way that this article started, they falsely get accused of doing something that they didn't do. And it's the worst thing that there could be. It includes children or women. The type of thing that men absolutely detest. And suddenly your life is obliterated because somebody's decided to destroy your reputation. It is reputation destruction that kills men. It isn't this type of stuff that's on the screen that saves men. It's something else. And in some cases, I got a feeling nothing would save these people because somebody has gone out to absolutely annihilate their reputation. And the thing about men is everything is about reputation. You look at it from Japan. their reputation was about honour. And their suicide method was, what's it called? Harikiri, is it? If their reputation was left in tatters, the only way they could get it back was to commit harakiri. I could have the word wrong there. So he goes on. Here he says, for 28 years, we've had a minister for women, and for 24 years, a minister for children, yet no one in government has responsibility for addressing the growing crisis facing men, a crisis marked by early death, despair, and silence. Now, I agree with this. This has been proposed. It was proposed under the previous government. It was probably proposed under the government before that. I doubt it was before then, because everybody was of the basis, oh, men are all right, men are okay, it's the patriarchy, yes, men are fine, we'll ignore the facts, we'll ignore all the shit, doesn't matter, men can fucking die, it doesn't matter, we got to save the women. So no one cared about the men. And this is a really important point. Men need an advocate in government. No man should suffer in silence. No father should face family courts that feel weighted against him. No innocent man should be destroyed by false allegations without support or recourse. No young man should feel so hopeless that he chooses death rather than life. This is the bit. Sir Keir Starmer could appoint a minister for men tomorrow. The time for change is now. I don't think Keir Starmer will do it. I don't think he's got the balls to do it. I'm not sure he's got any balls whatsoever. But I think this is something that Nigel Farage could promote immediately. When he is Prime Minister, he will bring in a minister for men. And he might need two different types of ministers for men. He might need one who is about promoting masculinity and the military and getting men back to work and having a purpose and whatever. And there could be another one that is focused on the healthcare aspects and the suicide aspects and whatever. Because I'm pretty sure it's not the same answer for both. And it will probably need a suite of answers. That different things will work for different people. But I'm pretty sure Keir Starmer would go down the same route. And therefore, this is another one of those things where I'm not saying get rid of ministers for women and ministers for children. No, not at all. I'm saying there should be a minister for men. And we should get rid of the concept of promoting people based on traits as opposed to based on merit, which is what Nigel Farage has already said. Let's move on. I've got one more. Here's one that I find absolutely fascinating. This came through Riverside Gardens in Knaresborough. Adlington Retirement Living. Okay. It's called the sales team. It came up as an advert. Explore Knaresborough, discover more about the local area. This is about the latest community that has been built in Knaresborough. It's now open, a brand new place. A range of 61 1, 2 and 3 bedroom stylish apartments, but it's for retired people. It's retirement apartments. Okay. It's called Riverside Gardens. Right. Okay. I'm getting there. I'm getting to that age. Let's have a look at this. So the apartments, you can pick and choose how many bedrooms, what status, what floor they're on. First one, number 2, Riverside Gardens. 1 bedroom ground floor retirement apartment with a patio. 225k. 1 bedroom. 225k for a 1 bedroom in Knaresborough. And the one next to it. The only difference is it's a deluxe ground floor retirement apartment with patio. That's 306 grand. Okay. A 2 bedroom, 400 grand. Another 2 bedroom, 440 grand. 440, 400 grand. 485,000. £620,000 for a 2-bedroom ensuite first floor retirement apartment. You've got a balcony. You don't have a fucking patio though, do you? Ha! Look at this, right? So what is this area? What is this place? Let's see. Okay. So they've either bought up some brownfield land or maybe it's greenbelt. And they've built a load of apartments on it. Yeah, okay, fine. But they're all ultra expensive. Amazingly expensive. If you look at those prices, the only people that will be able to move into these are the ultra rich. The people who have made lots of money, they probably live in quite a large house at the moment and they would have to sell their house to somebody else who is ultra rich, who can afford it, to be able to move into this place. And this is part of the problem around the infrastructure that we've got. Everything that is being built for the ultra rich, the upper middle class, and the upper class. Everything. In the past, we used to build terraced housing for the people that work. This looks like a student union block of flats to me. But instead of it being aimed at young people, first-time buyers, people in the NHS, people who are working in the trades or whatever, instead of being aimed at those people and building a community around giving opportunities to younger people, all they've done is gone, yeah, we don't give a fuck about the younger people. We're just going to have the older people, but it's not just any older people, it's the fucking rich older people. And in order to be able to get these places, the rich older people need to sell their mansions to other ultra fucking rich people, probably from foreign countries, a lot of them, that exacerbates the issue in our economy about prices of housing that really fucks over the general population. So let's go a bit further down here, because what I was interested in here is this bit that it says other charges apply. So you're already paying somewhere between £200,000 here, £265,000 for a one bed, up to 620 grand. And that's for your retirement place. And of course, when you sell, you can only sell it to somebody who's retiring, who had better have somewhere big and really expensive to be able to sell, to be able to move into this retirement fucking place so they can live with a bunch of really fucking old wankers, right? So, what have we got here? Understanding the charges. Here, it was this little bit. Understanding the charges. So I was interested in this. What are the charges here? So yeah, I mean, you got all these other things that are on site, and they do cleaning, estate management, window cleaning, water, 24-hour on-site support team, 25-26 approximately weekly service and wellbeing charge. About 200 quid a week. A week, that is. You're paying 10 grand as a weekly service and wellbeing charge, on top of paying your ultra high prices for a fucking flat. What the fuck has gone wrong with our society that we are allowing this, and we are not producing good, strong, clean community housing, community living for our young people? No. Gotta spend it on the old fuckers like me that have done really well, that everything's been working perfectly brilliantly for us for our lives, and we don't give a fuck about the upcoming generations. I got a feeling this place will fall into massive disrepair at some point. because our economy is about to crumble. It might be 20 years away, might be 30 years away. But this place will look like fucking Chernobyl at some point. Thank you very much, everybody. I hope that was all right for you. And once my chest has got better and my cough has gone, I'll be back outside. Cheers, everyone. Bye.